Welcome everyone to The Explainer. So let's just dive right into it and totally dismantle the biggest myth about building wealth. We are going to completely change how you look at the money sitting in your checking account right this very second. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. You're probably conditioned to believe that you need some massive $10,000 windfall or, a giant trust fund or to get incredibly lucky with some random crypto coin just to even start building wealth. But what if just $100 could completely change your financial future? This one simple question completely shifts the paradigm. The data consistently shows us that the most crucial step in personal finance isn't actually the dollar amount you start with at all. It's making the decisive choice to just begin. It's about taking a mere $100 and using it to shift your identity from being a consumer to an investor.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to uncover the hidden spending trap, introduce the $100 circuit breaker, navigate surviving that brutal first 100K, watch the compound interest snowball completely take over, and finally, leave you with a concrete wealth-building playbook. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The hidden spending trap, and exactly why even high earners struggle to build wealth. To really get this, let's look at a tale of two friends who earn the exact same $60,000 salary. First, you have the consumer mindset. Every single time this person gets a tiny 3% raise, they instantly upgrade their car, or they start buying artisanal coffee that takes 20 minutes to brew. Their lifestyle just absorbs every single new dollar that comes in. But then you have the investor mindset. This person isn't necessarily making a dime more, but they intentionally allocate their increases to savings and investments first. They are quietly building this impenetrable financial fortress, while the first friend is sitting there at the end of the month wondering where the heck all their money went. And this happens because modern corporations literally spend billions of dollars specifically to keep you trapped in what's called peripheral processing. When you scroll through highly curated aesthetic social media feeds, you aren't making logical choices. You're making decisions based on surface-level cues engineered to trigger FOMO, or fear of missing out. You're bypassing your logical brain entirely. To actually build wealth, you've got to force your brain over to central processing, where you deeply engage and evaluate facts and long-term consequences before you ever tap that card. Ultimately, what we're fighting against here is something scientists call present bias. This is the natural human tendency to value pleasure today significantly more than financial security tomorrow. It's the exact reason why spending $100 on a fancy dinner tonight feels so incredibly easy, but putting that same $100 into an index fund feels, well, kind of painful. Your brain experiences those two actions completely differently, and until you recognize this bias, your money is basically going to be controlled by someone else's marketing budget. Section 2. The $100 circuit breaker, or how to actually hack your own spending. So how do we beat this? We use the $100 rule. By forcing a mandatory, non-negotiable 24-hour delay on absolutely any non-essential purchase over $100, you create a cognitive circuit breaker. That pause is where the magic happens. Over those 24 hours, the excitement fades, the raw emotion settles down, and logic finally gets a chance to speak up. It physically gives your brain the time to switch from that vulnerable emotional peripheral processing back to rational logic, letting you ask yourself, what future am I actually buying here? Financial author Morgan Housel points out something absolutely crucial here, noting that financial success is 80% behavior and only 20% knowledge. It reminds us that it really doesn't matter how well you know the math or how amazingly color-coded your budget spreadsheet is if you cannot control your behavior at the checkout screen. Wealth isn't about being some Wall Street genius. It's about not sabotaging your own capital with impulsive daily choices. To truly wrap your head around the massive opportunity cost of impulse spending, let's think about Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa as a mathematical thought experiment. If King Francis had simply invested his original $20,000 purchase price at historical 6% annual return way back in the year 1540, it would mathematically equal over $1 quadrillion today. 1 quadrillion. Now, obviously, you aren't living for 500 years, but the point remains. Every single time you spend $100 on a random impulse buy, you are actively sacrificing the significant wealth that capital was mathematically destined to become. And that brilliantly illustrates the ultimate goal of the $100 rule. It isn't just about being cheap or hoarding cash. Actually, scratch that, it's way deeper. It's about transitioning your entire identity. Society aggressively pushes us to look rich with highly visible status symbols and luxury cars, which is honestly a really fragile state that usually requires constant debt to maintain. But being wealthy, like the millionaire next door, well, that's about hidden assets, quiet compounding, living well below your means, and having unshakable, real financial security. Section 3. Surviving the first 100K. Universally known as the hardest money you will ever make. This specific phase stops more people dead in their tracks than any other obstacle. Why? Because of what we call contribution dominance. This is the agonizing early phase of investing where you are doing 95% of the heavy lifting. You're grinding away, sacrificing your lifestyle, funneling money into your accounts, and let's say you invest $1,000 a month, but you only make $50 in returns. It feels totally meaningless, right? Your money is barely doing 5% of the work. It's agonizing because there is almost zero visible exponential growth to motivate you. And let's just be totally honest for a second, it is incredibly difficult right now. We live in a world of absolute instant gratification, where you can get a hot meal delivered to your door in 30 minutes, but true wealth, that takes years of invisible, slow progress. Plus, the data shows that younger generations, like Gen Z, are starting with roughly 86% less buying power than boomers had at the exact same age. So you're fighting an uphill battle against a total lack of early compounding, all while facing the constant, heavy pressure of lifestyle inflation.
Then add in the dark side of compound interest, which is debt. The average American carries over $221,000 of debt. Think about that. That debt acts like a scorching hot sun beating down on the little snowball of wealth you are desperately trying to build. When you factor in all of these massive hurdles, it's crystal clear why reaching that first $100,000 takes immense, unyielding discipline. But you absolutely have to power through it.
Section 4. The compound interest snowball, or the beautiful moment when the math finally takes over. Once you push through, the numbers reveal something truly fascinating. Let's say you save $10,000 a year at a historical 7% return. Getting from zero to your very first $100,000 takes almost 8 grueling years. But look at how the time required shrinks. Going from 100 to 200,000 only takes 5.1 years. The next 100 takes just 3.8 years. By the time you're going from 400 to 500,000, it only takes 2.5 years. This isn't magic, guys. This is the pure mathematical power of a snowball getting larger and picking up more snow completely on its own. Following this exact timeline, we hit a massive tipping point right around year 13. For the very first time, compound interest is actually contributing more to your account than you are out of your own hard-earned paycheck. Your money is officially working harder than you are. Fast forward just a bit, and by the time you reach $1 million, your investments are generating roughly $70,000 a year in completely passive returns. That is 7 times more than your original $10,000 annual contribution. It's mind-blowing. Section 5. Your Wealth Building Playbook. Let's take all of this and start building today. This fantastic growth framework from millionaire Mark Tilbury outlines exactly what you should be doing right now. First, gain control by understanding exactly where your money goes with a budget. Then, root your investments by automating them into low-cost index funds. Next, optimize your taxes. For instance, if you start a side business, learn how to legally write off justifiable expenses. Then, weed out your high-interest debts using small, consistent snowflake payments, meaning you apply literally any extra cash, no matter how small, directly to your debt balance to melt it down fast. Tap into additional income streams through side hustles, because there's practically no limit to how much you can earn on the internet today. And finally, heighten your self-discipline to stick to the plan. As you build that discipline, I want you to keep this core thesis in mind. Wealth is what you don't see. The highest dividend your money will ever pay you is control. Every single dollar you save without spending it on some flashy, depreciating status symbol translates directly into options, into flexibility, and into the ultimate luxury, getting to wake up every single day and deciding exactly what you will do with your own time. So I want to leave you with this final, vital thought to ponder before you tap your card next time. Will your next purchase improve your life for a few days, or could that money guarantee your future freedom? The barrier to entry is literally just $100. The math is completely proven. So are you ready to start building your snowball today? Thank you so much for exploring this with me, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.